Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new racing show on the internet called the Big Australian Racing Show. Now this show features the best of the best each and every week. And well, I'm very excited to be presenting this show, and well, let me just explain. If you've been subscribed for the last 3 or so months, you would know that I've been doing Group 1 Victorian horse racing previews each and every week, as well as previews from Tassie horse races like the Derby and the Hobart Cup, etc. And I also did the Golden Slipper last week, as you would know. Now, after that Golden Slipper preview, I thought, you know, I just love my racing so much that I think it would be beneficial for me and easier for me, and also more informative and more beneficial for my viewers if I just pack it all into one video, all into one show. It just makes sense. And that way I don't just have to preview Victorian races. I can preview all the Group 1s throughout Australia, and it just provides more content pretty much. So I'm very excited to be presenting this show. It is going to be different to my past previews. It's going to be much more different, but it will still be very informative. So I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, please press that subscribe button. Now this show each week will feature every Group 1 throughout Australia, so all the Group 1s from Victoria, Sydney, Adelaide, Queensland, they're all here in this show. I'm also going to be doing the best featured races coming up each Saturday. So normally group and listed races will feature. There might be a couple of other featured races that will feature on the show as well. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into looking at today's episode agenda. Now this show will be normally uploaded every Friday, but since the William Reid Stakes, the Group 1 William Reid Stakes is tonight at Moonee Valley, I've decided to upload this a day early. So today we're looking at two great races from Moonee Valley tonight, the William Reid Stakes as I mentioned, and the Group 2 Sunline Stakes. That is going to be very, very interesting race, I reckon. Then we're going to look ahead to Saturday's racing. Rose Hill, there are two fantastic Group 1s, the BMW Stakes being the highlighted race, as well as the Vinery Stud Stakes. And we're also going to look at the Group 2 Doncaster Prelude. That is, of course, a race that, sorry, it's the Group 3 Doncaster Prelude, sorry about that. It is a lead-up race to the Doncaster Mile, so it'll be interesting to see who stars in that race, especially with horses who want to go to the Doncaster Mile next week at Randwick. We're also going to have a look at two great Group 3 races at Caulfield on Saturday, that being the Easter Cup and the Victoria Handicap. There are some good horses in both those races, so looking forward to having a look at those races. So let's start the show by having a look at Moonee Valley. We start with the Group 1 William Reid Stakes. So of course the William Reid Stakes will be ran tonight, Easter Thursday at 9:15 PM. It is a Group 1 race, of course. It's the first Group 1 race at Moonee Valley for 2016. Lucky Hustler goes in as the favourite at $3. He's looking to basically make it back-to-back William Reid Stakes. He won the race last year, so he's looking to win the race again this year. His last run was in the Orr Stakes, where he came second to Suavito in that race. So he ran okay. He actually ran pretty well, getting second. Yeah, of course, came 6th in the Emirates Stakes, but of course runs very well over the 1200 metre journey, which is what this race actually is. Looking at some other horses as well, Flamberg, of course, surprise win in the Oakley Plate, absolutely fantastic win from him. He's backed at about $12. Could be a roughie that could get up now that we know he can win over the 1100 metres. Can he win over that 1200 metre though? That's the question. The quarterback, well, he was absolutely fantastic in the Newmarket, a very big upset win in that race. I don't think anyone expected him to win the race. And there's also some other great horses as well. Holer, who looks really good. He's the second favourite of the race, coming in at $4, one to really look out for. Japanese Me had a pretty poor run in the Newmarket actually, came 5th out of the 9 horses, got beaten by the quarterback of course in this race, and yeah, maybe we'll want to forgive him in that race because we know he can run that 1200 metre journey and win over that wind range. King Like, a Peter Moonee trade horse, wow, it would be an absolute story if he was able to get up and win for Peter Moonee. Of course, we know how bad it's been for Peter Moonee this week, of course, walking away from the racing industry for now. Big loss to the racing industry in my opinion. It's absolutely sad and a little bit disgraceful that he's walking away, but oh well, things happen I guess. Okay, so looking at my tips now for this race, I've gone number 1, Hola, who won his last race over 1300 metres at Royal Randwick, has won at Moonee Valley before over the 1200 metre journey, so that really impacts my decision. And he's also won from barrier 7 before, which is the barrier he is coming out of, so very big chance to win this race, and I reckon it will. Also the track should suit him as well. I've then gone number 2, King Like for Peter Moonee. I could have probably slotted it in at number 1, but I did like Hola a bit better. Looks in really, really good form to win this race. Comes second in its last run. That wasn't over the 1200 metre journey. Has won over the 1200 metre journey before. Barrier 3. Not sure about the barrier, but the track it should suit at Moonee Valley. I've then gone number 3, Lucky Hustler. He will be in the top 3, no doubt about that. He's the favourite for a reason. This horse can run very well. Ran pretty well in the All Stakes, coming second. So yeah, over the 1200 metres, I think that will suit him as well. Now, if you want me to pick a close 4th, I'll have to go Japanese Me. Just couldn't slot him in the top 3 though, especially after his Newmarket performance. I've then gone my roughie of the race, the quarterback. Ran very well in the Newmarket, as we know, beat one of the best sprinters in Australia at the moment, Chautauqua. He was actually at $21 odds. That's how far and how much of a low chance he was of winning the race. So, okay, moving on now to the Group 2 race, which is after the William Reid Stakes. That is race 7 on the agenda. It is the Sunline Stakes, ran over 1600 metres at 9:45 PM local time. As we look at the field, number 1, Fenway, tops the field. Of course, runner in the Australian Cup a couple of weeks ago, gave this a really good chance of winning the race. In fact, I gave it my roughie of the race in that Australian Cup preview. Ran very nicely actually in that over that distance, came 4th. I reckon this horse is probably the top horse of the field, no question about that. Probably the best horse of the field actually. And she runs very nicely over the 1600 metres. She actually came second in the Maya Classic during the Melbourne Cup Carnival last year. That was on a soft 5. Mr. Delago is an interesting one. Came 4th in its last race over the 1600 metres. Came 15th in that same race as Fenway, the Maya Classic. Has won over the 1600 distance, so he's backed by the punters. Oh, this horse is backed by the punters at $6. Noble Protector, very interesting horse who, well, missed the start on Australian Cup Day in one of the races, the Marathon Stakes. I'd be giving this a very good chance to win the race. Has basically won over the 1600 metre distance before. Of course, last run, we'll have to forgive that, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes in this race. So, backed by the punters at $6. Whale, well, interesting horse. Got Damien Oliver on board. Won its last race over 1400 metres. Hasn't won over the 1600 metre journey, so that could be a bit of a concern for me. Metrophetical, a Peter Moonee trained horse. Of course, going to be ridden by Luke Curry. Came second in that race that Noble Protector basically faltered in on Australian Cup Day. Came second. Interesting run. Actually had quite a good run, to be honest. Felish Shiem was that horse that beat Metrophetical in that race a couple of weeks ago, backed by the punters at $8. So, yeah, it's an interesting race. The favourite, of course, is Fenway. No surprise there. And, in fact, that is my my First place tip, Fenway. Then gone Noble Protector at second place. I've then gone third, Felicien, who ran very well a couple of weeks ago at $11 odds by the punters. For my roughie of the race, I've gone Metrophetical, trained by Peter Moonee. Very good horse, ran very well a couple of weeks ago. Running over the same distance, I reckon it will be there in the top 4 in my opinion.